Howdy, friends. I've got a pre written statement that I want to share with y'all today. I read this out loud at a protest today as of March 31st, 2023. Today is Trans Day of Visibility. So, let's take a moment of silence. This is dedicated to not just the beautiful trans, queer, and gender nonconforming people of the world, not just the people who showed up here today, but far more importantly, to the people who couldn't show up today. In the United States, being any part of the queer and transgender spectrum is putting a walking target on our backs. I even expect the worst case scenario for us speaking up right now. And by the grace of the cosmos from above, I hope that we remain safe for the rest of our lives. I refuged a great distance, both geographically and socially, to become the person I am today. I spent my entire life fighting against the very people who raised me, the people who brought me to this world, the people who conditioned me to be an altar boy. As I attended Sunday school during my second year, I was subjected to the ongoing uncorrected systemic pedophilia in the Catholic Church. In the Catholic Church, there have been over 800 cases of child molestation and child rape dating as far back as the 1940s, possibly further, as we know full well, the extent of unreported rape cases has yet to be truly uncovered and truly reported. Systemic is the pedophilia of the church because they can lobby for attorneys to bail out child raping priests with a figure of $4.4 billion lobbying industry. In cases across the United States, Ireland, Brazil, and the Vatican, and really the entire world. If the church fails to bail out a pedophile priest on said charges, if they are even placed, they can fundraise with the community, further outcasting the victims, calling us sinners, without giving accountability to the offender. And I say this because the Catholic Church is one of the biggest lobbyists against LGBT rights and abortion access. The Catholic Church's nightmare that I had to go through after my assaulter died of old age with no accountability whatsoever never went away. Keeps me awake at night to know millions of children across the whole country and the world aren't given the tools to speak for themselves, to navigate building relationships, setting up and respecting boundaries, and most importantly, having no guidance to navigating gender affirming healthcare. I know for a damn fact that what happened to me is happening to millions of children today. When I see liberals making fun of children's books written to glorify Donald Trump or books written by Matt Walsh, I can't laugh at that. Of course, that shit is beyond silly. But they use those books to brainwash children into a pedophile cult that only wants to save face. Alliance Defending Freedom, or like Alliance Defending Fascism. Fascism, as it is a cannibalistic stink in the US empire that inhabits Turtle Island, will only lead to the death of children and rampant incest. That is the natural conclusion of fascism. Ask yourself why, when trans children die this year, the fascists don't cry like we do. If they were so concerned about killing groomers, they would have a mob with torches and pitchforks outside the Catholic Church. Give me a fucking break. Matt Walsh himself stated he thinks it's okay to fuck a 16-year-old girl just because that they are quote-unquote the most fertile age. Yet, he is one of the biggest advocates to against our existence. Give me a fucking break. Matt Walsh has also said that the Catholic Church doesn't have a pedophile problem, but a homosexuality problem. It's the same tactic of saving face that got me raped. And bitch ass Matt Walsh, you have to answer this question. Since I was raped by a woman, and if I'm not a woman and I'm a man, then what is a woman really? He can't even answer that without being inconsistent. What a fucking coward. Such a harebrained assertion implies the Catholic Church would be accepting of LGBTQ folks. Maybe individual churches do. And no doubt millions of Christians, including Catholics, do. But as a systemic lobbying arm, this assertion that the Catholic Church has some kind of homosexuality problem and not a pedophilia problem is a fuck you to me as a rape victim and as a trans woman. Queer and trans people don't have a $4.4 billion industry lobbying against sexual assault victims. The Catholic Church does, to people like me every day. Queer and trans people don't have billions of dollars lobbied against Catholics and followers of Catholicism. The Catholic Church does, to people like me and us every day. Queer and trans people aren't lobbying billions of dollars to reappoint the Supreme Court to ban abortion access. The Catholic Church does, and it has been doing so for generations now. As a victim of the pedophilia cult in the Catholic Church, let's stop scapegoating our beautiful LGBTQ plus siblings. Let's not cower in fear to the rise of fascism. Our lives and millions of others are worth a damn. I didn't travel across the country, left the church, broke free from the manipulative curse of my Christian family so that I could assimilate to the inbred crust of the fascist United States empire. I didn't find liberation in my own life so that I could be comfortable under the crushing capitalist hegemony, while millions of queer and trans and gender of non-conforming children could be and are molested and assimilated by the inbred crust of the fascist U.S. empire. Such a machine as the U.S. empire is an invasive species. This is Turtle Island. Let's get the record straight. We as queer and trans and gender non-conforming people deserve to live in joy. We deserve to smile big. We deserve to laugh in bliss. We deserve to learn about our beautiful world. We deserve to share wonderful memories with each other. We deserve to have solidarity with one another. We deserve to organize to make our world and the community a better place to live. We deserve to see and empower against the pimply face of fascism. I mean it. Before I go, I want to share a story. Just recently, the other day, I went to the grocery store. Some dude called me the F-slur. And I'm hard of hearing, hence why I'm speaking very loud. So, I wasn't entirely sure if what I thought he said was the F-slur. So all I did was turn around nonchalantly, not really confrontationally either at all. And I just asked, huh? What? Like, just simple, what? Suddenly his girlfriend comes along and said bag. He said bag, and they just walked off. Now, that's obviously a lie. Of course, there was no escalation at play here. It pretty much happened in an instant, and it got resolved in an instant. But the important lesson to draw from this story is that bigots, transphobes, homophobes, and trans-exclusionary radical fascists, let's not confuse them with feminists, are cowards. If you confront them, even gently, even not passive-aggressively, they will retract instantly. They'll hide behind the police. side with plausible deniability, make up excuses, use mental gymnastics, attempt to manipulate you, and ultimately, if I were to have my own children someday, I would point to those people like that, and I would tell them they were cowards. Us being here is for the people who cannot be here. We speak for those who cannot speak. We stay united for those who have no one else for them. And ultimately, we do not need to be fighting each other. We need to be fighting fascism. Anything else is complicity with the ongoing genocide of not just trans people, but the two-spirited peoples who have long since survived the attempted erasure of their cultures. We need to be there for them too. No exceptions. No excuse for fascism. No excuse for colonialism. No excuse for homophobia. No excuse for transphobia. No excuse for racism. No excuse for genocide. Trans lives matter. Black lives matter. Indigenous lives matter. You matter. I matter. We matter. No excuses. Death to fascism. Thank you all. Solidarity.